if you're borrowing below 1,000 and you plan to repay within 3 days. Indeed, even as we celebrate, we are not treating it as a loan. They do not call it a loan. It is an overdraft. That's why even at the Central Bank of Kenya is calling for all the digital lenders in the country to come under the Banking Act. You did not see Fuliza. It is an overdraft. But then let's put it into proper context. Yes, we are celebrating that. And you can say that on the back end of that, maybe to a certain degree, because the president didn't say that he is not cognizant of the fact that indeed we need the listing to continue. He said we need to achieve some sort of harmony within the Kenyan economy. Because if you look at the 4 million Kenyans who are listed, meaning that you cannot get a loan, he said if you look at the credits that they were listed for, it could be 1,000 shillings or less. So I'm saying if you are on that Fuliza overdraft, if you pay within 3 days, the maintenance fee or the daily charge could be slashed by 50%. So the interest rate, again, that you're going to pay on that, remember, which is the maintenance fee, is the only thing you're going to pay for. It's not free. That's not free credit. But then the question is going to be, when we are talking about the Central Bank of Kenya being put on the spot for not even attaining the interest rates that are needed for local bonds, which are stuck at 13.8, 13.9%, lesser than the 14%, when you compound it annually again, because before this, Fuliza was one of, if not, the most expensive facility in the country, with interest rates annually of 300+%. Think about that. But even with them cutting it down to the by 50%, it still means, whether you like it or not, it is among the most expensive, 219% plus, depending how you're going to interact with it per annum. That's what we're talking about. So whether you call it a loan, whether you don't, it still remains to be the most expensive. Maybe the celebration should be that harmony in listing. And we're going to wait for it as from the 1st of November, because the president did promise, and this was one of his campaign promises, that he wants to take majority of the youth in the country who have been listed because of bad credit off those lists for most CRBs in the country. Maybe that's a celebration. But as far as Fuliza is concerned, if you treat it as a loan, because they're not treating it as a loan, it is still the most expensive. My name is Simba Kiage. This is Look at Business. Thank you very much for taking your time to still stick around all the way from Morning Drift this morning. We have a jam-packed session for you today. And remember, it is Food Loss and Waste Management Day today. We don't have our conversations around that today. What I do know is that we are officially off on Look at Business. Let's pick that first story. Kenyans will now enjoy 50% off daily maintenance fee of Fuliza loans, courtesy of a partnership by 3 banks in the country. Kenya's largest telco, Safaricom, and M-Pesa. Our reporter Wangari Njoroge now explains.
The Central Bank of Kenya, Kenya Commercial Bank, and NCBA Bank have collaborated with Kenya's giant telco Safaricom and M-Pesa to relieve Kenyans of high credit interest from Fuliza. With the rollout of the affordable access to credit, Kenyans are borrowing less than 1,000 shillings for a duration of less than 3 days from Fuliza will enjoy a slashed daily maintenance fee of 50% and an access fee of 1%.
beginning 1st of October, together with our partners NCBA and KCB, we are further building on our Fuliza partnership to empower more Kenyans with even more affordable access to credit. All customers will enjoy Fuliza free of the daily maintenance fee for transactions below 1,000 and below 3 days. So for the first 3 days, they won't have to pay any daily maintenance fee, which they pay today.
While addressing the media today, Safaricom's Chief Executive Peter Ndegwa stated that the aim of this innovation is to ensure financial inclusion and equity in the hustling nation.
The 3-day free daily maintenance fee period will allow customers who currently use Fuliza to complete more transactions while attracting more customers to the solution since it's more affordable.
In attendance, the President, Dr. William Ruto, supported the plan by the banking sector, saying through its rollout, 4.5 million Kenyans will be out of the CRB blacklist, bring down the cost of credit, and work towards the bigger target of a lower cost of living in the country.
And because you are listening, today you have made a very positive statement on matters Fuliza. First, I am very happy that between 4 and 5 million Kenyans will by beginning of November, they will be out of the blacklisting. That is very important.
Further, he encouraged a saving culture to achieve a 15% raise of the savings contribution to the country's GDP.
Is to work with you in the private sector to develop a product where Shiko, a mama mboga in Ruaka, and a boda person can also have access to credit at single-digit rate. And I am willing to work with you in a public-private arrangement so that we can mitigate some of the risks that come with lending to that category of Kenyans.
The affordable credit plan will be available to Kenyans as from the 1st of next month. Wangari Njoroge, Look Up TV.
Moving on, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has denied his previous statement giving directives to farmers to farm in the forest. Speaking in Nairobi County, where he kick-started the Nairobi International Trade and Agricultural Show, Gachagua blamed the media for misquoting him. Shadrach Arabia with that story.
During his speech at Jamhuri Grounds in Nairobi County, after he officially opened Nairobi International Trade and Agricultural Show,
it is now my pleasure to declare the 2022 ASK Nairobi International Trade Fair officially open.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua distanced himself from his previous directive to farmers to farm in the forest.
When I was in Baringo, I did announce to the people of Kenya that we have a serious program on afforestation. There is a lot of land within the forest reserve that has been earmarked for tree planting, and we are going to mobilize farmers in this old spirit to assist us to plant new trees in those areas that have no trees and take care of them as they farm until the trees are of age.
Gachagua accused journalists of misinterpreting his words, stating that he only asked the farmers to wait till the trees are matured before they can cultivate in the forest.
Because the gentlemen of the press are here, you have had a habit over the campaign period to always twist what we say in public to suit your own needs for whatever purpose. We want to tell the press the campaign is over. Report us objectively.
Gachagua, who was flogged by the Kenya Kwanza leaders, stated that the government will highly invest in food production.
That our new administration has focused on agriculture and trade as the most effective tools to turn around the economy and restore the dignity of our people and create wealth and make farmers to have dignity in what they do for a living.
But when you're making those interventions to the drought-stricken counties because of the issue of famine, I would humbly ask that you remember Nairobi County, because we are at the end of the food chain. Your Excellency, when there is no food across the country, there is no food in Nairobi. And urban poverty bites harder sometimes than rural poverty.
The second in command, however, warned the responsible leaders in the agricultural sector
that all the ambassadors and high commissioners who will be appointed will sign an MOU with us for 2 years on what we expect them to do in terms of enlarging markets and creating new markets. Those who are unable to deliver will be recalled back home to come and start farming with the other farmers here.
The Nairobi International Trade and Agricultural Show will go on until Saturday this week. Shadrack Kareria, Look Up TV.
The appointment of Njuguna Ndung'u to the position of Cabinet Secretary, Treasury and National Planning by President William Ruto has been lauded by economic analysts as a tactical move by President to bring back the fiscal discipline that headlined Mwai Kibaki's government. Economic analysts, however, say that Njuguna has his work cut out already as he walks into an economy burdened by heavy debt and what has been seen as fiscal indiscipline since former President Mwai Kibaki left office.
The Minister for National Treasury and Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u.
And just like that, a man who has worked at the Apex Bank during Mwai Kibaki's time in office has been thrown back into public service. Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, an economist, the 8th governor of the Central Bank of Kenya, will now head the top cash office in the country in a move that analysts say is a reflection of Ruto's intention to borrow notes from Kibaki's regime, seen as a period when Kenya's economy looked up.
Njuguna Ndung'u is quite experienced in that field, given that he had been the Central Bank governor for 2 consecutive terms. And in those times, I think the economy performed quite well if you reflect back. Though at the tail end of his tenure, I think he had a scandal, so to speak, if you remember. So on the technicality, on the technical part of it, I think we give him a plus or a positive for that. On the integrity part, that is not for us to say. So I think what Ruto was trying to, President Ruto was trying to bring in is look for somebody who can move this government through this tough economic season to the next one. Somebody who can assist Treasury to maneuver the financial aspect of our economy. And I think Njuguna Ndung'u was a good pick, yes, given his experience. And then again, if you marry it in with the current Central Bank of Kenya governor, that is Njoroge, then you have a perfect duo to move this economy to the next level. Of course, that will only happen if they have the goodwill from the political side of the government, and that is the executive.
The man lauded for giving. Moving on, a section of coast members of parliament have vowed to prioritize bringing back CDF once house business resumes. Let's take a look at that.
Mama Martha Koome hilo jambo alifikiria mara nyingi sana, na akiongea CDF iondolewe, lakini alifikiria kuna wanyonge ambao hawajiwezi, wanategemea hiyo misaada tu peke yake.
Shule zetu nyingi zilikuwa katika hali ya udongo, lakini wabunge waliotangulia wamesaidia sana kuweka majengo ya mashule mpaka sisi wenyewe tunaona raha. Leo kitengo hiki kikiondolewa, tutapata wapi msaada kama huo?
Mambo mengi huku tumeyafanya kwa mipango ya CDF, imetuinua mahali. Leo hii kama CDF itaondolewa, sisi tutakuwa wapi?
Na mimi ripoti ya NG-CDF nimeiangalia vizuri sana. Tumetumia 56 billion shillings ambao zimekwenda katika NG-CDF, si Malindi peke yake. Mimi nazungumza kuhusu Kenya nzima. Lakini kwa hizi pesa pia kulingana na ile ripoti ni watoto milioni 6 wenye ambao wameweza kunufaika na NG-CDF basari zenye ambazo zinatoanishwa na mbunge. Mimi nataka niseme hivi. Mtu wa kwanza ambao nyinyi mnamwendea mkiwa na shida zenu ni mambo. Mtu wa pili ambao mnamfikia kwa urahisi ni mbunge. Kitambo tufike kwa governor. Ndivyo ama sivyo hivi? Kwa nini hizi pesa ziondolewe katika mamlaka ya mbunge?
Na sisi kama wabunge wa kitaifa tumesema licha ya kuwa tuna mirengo yetu tofauti, safari hii tumeungana pamoja na ni lazima, si eti tunaomba, ni lazima CDF iregeshwe ili watoto wetu waweze kwenda shule na majengo yaweze kuendelea.
CDF Act of 2015 ndio inatumika, na hiyo haijakuwa ama haijaharamishwa na koti. Koti iliharamisha ile act ya zamani. Kwa hivyo tumehakikishiwa na viongozi ikiwemo Mheshimiwa Rais mwenyewe, nafikiri tulikuwa naye kwa mkutano kule Nairobi, na yeye pia akasema CDF itakuwa, kwa sababu yeye pia anatambua ule muhimu ambao hii CDF iko nayo, na anatambua vile CDF imeweza kusaidia kuleta maendeleo kule mashinani.
Let's cross over live to Parliament, where reporter Shadrach Kareria gives us details of how members of Parliament are getting ready for House business next week. And we do expect that President William Ruto to officially grace that particular one next week, today at
the National Assembly, where the President William Ruto is expected to arrive anytime here to actually open the 13th Parliament, and this will be his first joint sitting since he was elected in the August of 9, 2022. The President, once he arrives at this place, the first thing he'll do is actually inspect the Guard of Honor that is prepared, being hosted by the Air Force, Army, and as we have seen, we've witnessed in a few minutes ago, the Army, the militants who are here marching in preparation for the same event. And now, as we can see behind me, the security here is highly maintained. You see, this is has been a very busy way to the National Parliament. The Parliament Road has been very busy, but today, as you can see, they are the only people, personnel who are expected or who are authorized, rather allowed to pass through this road are only the price and maybe the police officers and other security officers. They are the only people expected or allowed to pass through this particular place. Once the President arrives here, some of the things that we expect to see is that his flag will be raised. Maybe the presidential flag will be raised. We've seen the national flag. Then the President will have his space somewhere at the gate, the entrance of the Senate, where he will actually, after going through maybe some activities, that is including them going through or seeing what the militants have prepared for him, the President is expected to join the senators and the members of Parliament inside the Parliament building, where he is expected to have his speech. The President, some of the things that we expect to hear from the President today are among the issues affecting the countries currently. We expect him to talk about the issue of the food price. We expect him to talk about the food of the country's economy, the agriculture, the drought. We understand that some countries have been affected by the drought situation. Those are some of the key things we are expecting the President to actually talk about today in his speech. Once the President arrives here, the National Assembly, and we expect also to see the Speaker of the National Assembly as well as the Speaker of the Senate in the building, where the both of them will share a common agenda, that is the speech from the president. After this, now the parliament will fully continue with their mandate. The newly elected MPs as well as those other the early MPs who have been in power or in the seat will have time maybe to conduct or to carry out their mandate. We've seen some preparation going on here until now. The army are still preparing for something. As you can see, maybe if you can look at the further end there, you can see the vehicle, the army vehicle, or maybe securing this place to ensure that no vehicles enters this side direction. We've seen the police officers everywhere, and we also seen the military police. That is an assurance that the president will be making his way here at the National Assembly. And we've seen, if my camera person just show you some of the things we expect, we see here. We've seen the security is highly maintained. The president is expected to come here any time from now. We are told that around 11. That is when we expect to see the President William Ruto coming here with his the deputy president. And this is a D-Day for the president, since it is his first joint sitting in the National Assembly, to give a go-ahead to the members of the parliament so that they can go on with their mandate as the members of parliament and the senators as well. So we'll be keeping here, we'll be staying here to just keep our viewers updated on some of things that are happening here at the National Assembly, where President William Ruto is actually expected to arrive here with other leaders, such as he might also attend here with the MPs, the cabinet secretaries, who were actually appointed a few days ago. And those are some of the things that we expect to see here at the National Assembly. I will be here. Stay tuned to our viewers. I want to tell them that we will keep you updated on every single occasion that will happen, that will take place here at the National Assembly. Back to you in studio.
Right, thank you very much, Shadrach Kareria, with that update on what we do expect from the National House today. And we do know that the 13th Parliament will officially kick off business next week. So it's just to get a brief from the President. We will be giving you updates on that. And should anything then come up, remember that Kareria will keep our tabs on that story, and will be bringing us those details. For now, let's look at the markets. Well, let's take a look at the markets, and that means that we're going to go back to how we closed yesterday. Let's start with the main gainers. All right, let's take a short break.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.